Hey, everybody. Terrence and I want to thank you so much for all the Drinks with My Wife podcast downloads.
Thank you.
He can never give me my moments. Never. Anyway, we're glad you're enjoying it. Please be sure to share with your friends, family, and colleagues that you think will enjoy our madness as well. And don't forget to subscribe, because that gives you notifications of new episodes, which happen every week. Thanks again, and enjoy, enjoy, enjoy. Hey, babe, how are you?
I'm not bad.
Good.
I'm not bad. I don't think I feel like you were ready to talk again. I was just
because I really want to tell you what I'm drinking because it's delicious.
Okay, so I'm doing good. Tell me what you're drinking.
I am drinking a Dark and Stormy.
Ooh, look at you, fancy business.
Yeah, you made it the other night for a friend, and I tried it, and it was delicious. And I was like, "Ooh, let me have one of those." And it's with one of my favorite rums, Kraken.
Nice.
Yeah, so
nice
it's really, really good, and it's simple. Like it's this rum, lime juice, and some ginger beer, and that's it. And it's very refreshing, actually.
It is.
Too. Not too sweet.
It's dangerous.
Yeah,
it's dangerous.
Agreed. What are you drinking?
Whiskey sour.
Oh, we got to get you on something new.
I know, but it is new, kinda, because normally I'm on my recent obsession, but the truth is I'm on this by Four Roses because of that same very friend. Tara Sue.
She did bring you Four Roses.
It was a birthday gift. You know, it was.
She's lovely.
Love that lady. But yeah, it's whiskey sour. But yeah, maybe I'll mix it up next time. That's the thing I do. I just shake my head and go, mix it up.
It's not a good look, by the way.
Hopefully you're just listening and not watching, because
I hope so.
It's not as sexy as it sounds when I say
really
shake my head like
No,
that.
it doesn't sound sexy either, by the way. So don't give yourself any credit. Doesn't look sexy, doesn't sound sexy.
Nice.
What do you want to talk about today?
I have got something for you.
Oh.
So I'm going to ask you a question.
Okay.
And I'm going to lose you. I'm going to lose you.
It's one of those.
I want to lose, but I'm going to get you back.
Okay.
So
I'm ready.
I have a theory. So maybe it's less of a question and more of a proposition. We are all, me, you, someone, the people who are listening, we are all someone's shittiest lay.
Oh, wait, what?
Shitty. No, stay with me.
I guarantee you that's not true.
Don't have people leaving comments. But no, I just mean like, I think about, I was talking to my friend yesterday and we were joking about this kind of very concept and this idea that, how much we were reminiscing about people. So let me just kind of back up. We're reminiscing and you start thinking about how you viewed yourself growing up or even how you view yourself now. And I think specifically with men sexually, no man is ever going to say he's a shitty lay. He just won't. Not unless he's in like a Reddit chat room or some other shit. Like he's never going to admit like
where he's like, can you help me?
I have no idea. I have no idea what I'm doing.
Provide instruction.
So the whole idea that there is a person out there, don't need to be PC. There is a woman out there who sees this podcast or has seen you and go, oh man, she's fucking Terrence.
Poor thing.
Sad. Just
poor thing.
Think more of yourself, girl. You know what I mean?
Funny.
But that's what. So that whole idea that we can all be someone's worst lay or something like that, and it doesn't mean that it's a continuous sexual event. I just mean more of the idea that you interact with someone through dating and social life, and they think, holy shit, he settled down with her.
You know, that's interesting because, and it's not about the sex.
Nah,
for me, chemistry is everything. And so,
100%.
Listen, divorce is at 60%, and those people go on and they marry and have very happy, successful relationships after that. So there is this element of chemistry between two people, meaning two people come together and sometimes they work.
Right.
And two people come together and sometimes they don't work.
Right.
And sometimes the reason why you don't work is because you and that person just, you don't mesh.
It could be for any variety of reasons.
It could be for a variety of different reasons. The things that you find funny in me, or that you might go, oh my God, Uana's hysterical, which I think most people would agree. Somebody else is going, oh my God.
She's fucking annoying.
She's so fucking annoying.
Well, we know we don't always work because we both have been married and divorced.
Yeah, 100%.
I just like that idea where we've, people have sat around, or all of us, people, we sit around and we make fun. We talk about some crazy date we went on or some stupid interaction we had or some fucking weirdo, not recognizing that people are saying that about us somewhere.
Sure.
Because we're not, it's what you just said, like, we're not always at our best. It's so much about meeting someone and connecting is about time and circumstance.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I can easily look at how I have been in my life and just go on, my God, I was an obnoxious asshole. I always own that. I'll always own that. Where I go, oh yeah, I was so fucking obnoxious.
Yeah.
But I think about it in terms of dating and women, and I just go, because not just about a shit lay, like also attractiveness. Because that's the other thing. Like there's nothing like meeting someone where you go, I don't know if women do this more than men, but that sense of judgment, especially when you're young. I mean, now we just really don't give a shit. But when you're young and a friend of yours goes, hey, I want you to come over and meet my friend, my new boyfriend, Mike. And you see Mike, you're like, man, goddamn, she's banging him. Like just that idea where you're looking at someone. Like, I wonder, like there's someone who's looking back and they're talking with their friends and someone goes, oh my God, I can't believe you used to mess around with Terrence Moore. Like, whew, shit, thank God you dropped him.
I think for women though, the looks thing might not necessarily be the thing that they react to, because I think for the most part, I think men definitely are attracted to the way a woman looks, and women are attracted to the way a man behaves and interacts and engages with you, and his personality more so than looks. Personality more so than looks. So I think that would be the thing. I think if I had a friend who said, oh, I want you to meet my boyfriend. Right. And she was just like great and exuberant and funny and kind and outgoing. And she introduced me to this guy and he was a complete and total dud.
Right.
I would be like, what? How is this? How is this happening?
You're right though, because I've had a friend who will remain nameless who used to.
I bet I can guess who it is.
I know you can, but I'm not, and I'm sure a lot of people can too, but I'm not going to.
I'll give initials shortly.
I can't bring it up. But he used to always hype up his girl. And it was just
I don't know who this is.
Yeah, you do. But he used to always be like, but this is when they first were dating. Because they're married now. See, this is what you got to do. You got to leave breadcrumbs. Now they're married.
Wow.
And the thing about it is something that we said on a previous episode. There is no locker room talk about someone's spouse. I just don't believe in that. I think it's disrespectful. Like, if you want to joke about somebody who you dated in high school, that's fine. But I just don't believe in that. I would never disrespect someone's spouse. You found love. That's beautiful. Mm-hmm. But at the time they were dating, and he was like, man, wait till you see her. First of all, never say that. Like, unless Halle Berry is going to fucking kick open the door for another hotter woman to come out behind her. Like,
that's right.
Don't ever say that, because it sets these expectations. And what's fascinating to me is just that thing. Like, dude, if you dig on her, that's all that fucking matters. Like, don't. And by the way, when said woman arrived, she wasn't my style, but that was fine.
Yeah.
But he was like, after she actually went to the restroom, he was like, he was so proud, because he's one of those people who's very insecure. And he was just like, she fine, ain't she? And I have the.
That's the word. What does it matter? Like, don't ask me, because now I got to really answer.
And you know me, I was just like, she's nice.
Yeah.
He was like, but no, well, hold on. What do you mean? You mean she's nice? Like, nice, good looking? She's nice. She's nice. Just leave it ambiguous. You know what I mean? But just don't set expectations.
Yeah. But going back to what you asked, which is this idea of
the worst life.
What? Yeah. Well, that's what you call it, but it's also kind of like, it could be anything, right? You could have gone on a couple of dates. I've been ghosted plenty of times.
I burned a woman with a cigarette in a club once. I did.
She is definitely not saying nice things about you.
She didn't in that moment either.
She is thinking you're a total idiot. But it's interesting, because when I think about that now, when I think about the fact that, like I went on dates and I was ghosted, and in that moment, you're just like, how is this possible? Like, how did I possibly get ghosted? Like,
Does
nothing.
it feel personal?
Well, how could it not feel personal?
I don't know. I've never been
Because there's no conversation. It wouldn't if it feels personal because there's no conversation. Like if somebody calls you up and goes, "Listen, I had a really nice time and you're a really nice person," but
right.
then you can go, "Okay, that's fine. We just again, it's that chemistry. We just didn't connect.
Right.
We just didn't click." That's totally okay.
But when you don't hear from them.
But when you're completely ghosted, and so then you have to look at it and go, "Wait, why?"
Did you? Let me ask you.
why?
Oh my God! So did you?
Because now, aren't you thinking, how's that possible? How could Uana possibly get ghosted? She's the most amazing woman on the planet.
Oh my God! No, is the answer to such a ridiculous question. But I'm fascinated.
You're about to get ghosted.
please. There's a paper trail in our relationship. But that
Goddamn
idea.
credit.
Like, do you think about that? Like when you thought about it when it was happening. At what point did you recognize? So let's just create a false timeline. You go out to a guy on Friday and you don't hear from him because that's what people do by Tuesday. Is there a time where you start going, I'm never going to hear from this motherfucker again?
Yes, it's like 2 years later. No, I'm kidding. Totally kidding. Yeah, for sure. And then. Here's the worst part, though. I don't know what that time frame is. By the way,
I feel like the memories are flooding back.
I think 2 weeks is probably the recognition.
Oh, that's not. It's never happened because that's what women don't get. But go ahead. I'm gonna tell you this in a moment.
Yeah, I think 2 weeks is probably the recognition that okay, I'm never gonna hear from this motherfucker, and also like what the hell happened. I don't really understand what took place, but there was But I have to say, and I'm not sure if this is a female thing, but I am a female and I did this. It now becomes, well, he must not like strong women.
Always. Oh, no.
He must not like strong women who have their own point of view, who won't put up with their shit, blah, blah, blah,
all
blah,
the time. Or because I wouldn't put out that night. That's women always.
No, that was never a problem. Totally kidding, by the way.
There is that thing where I can see how you start turning it back on them. Mm-hmm. You know, because for dudes, guys have always played that stupid game. And so that's why whenever you were saying, like, if I haven't heard from him by 2 weeks, because guys do these arbitrary things where they would say, well, I'm going to call her for so many days, or I'm not going to do this.
Yeah.
And then when it's not responded and they're not responded to, all of a sudden it gets very personal, very fucking fast.
Yeah.
So the same way a woman might position it as, oh, he doesn't like an independent woman. And which is always my favorite reply. I love when women say that.
Me too.
Because it's in the thing for dudes, you'd be like, oh, you know what? She was fucking stuck up anyway, or she was a fucking prude, or she was this, and there was that. I always love it when people position it to other people as opposed to going, maybe they're just not reacting to me. Because the older you get, the more you recognize it is truly about chemistry.
Right.
But when you're younger, you never look at not never. I don't want to deal in generalities.
Rarely.
But rarely. You don't look
young.
at yourself. You know, when I think about back to bad dating experiences, it was always her fault. Like, fuck her.
Yeah.
Fuck her.
Of course.
If she didn't like me fucking smoking, she should have been standing so close. I did burn a woman's hand, though.
That is the most...
But then I tried to act like someone else was passing by because we were at a club.
You didn't even own up to it.
No.
And you wonder why you never saw her again?
No, I knew before we left the club I was never seeing a girl again. So literally we were standing in club, we were talking, and this guy, as someone passes by, someone must have hit me because all of a sudden you see those sparks fly from a cigarette. Yeah. And she was like, oh my God. I was like, you all right? She's like, yo, what the fuck, man? She's like, you burned me. I was like, no, that dude bumped into you. So I'm literally trying to lie myself out.
This is when you could smoke indoors.
Yeah, this was when I was smoking.
And indoors.
Man, it was the good old days.
Bliss.
But
Pure bliss.
On both sides. But I actually was able to rescue the date. But
So what is she saying about you right now?
She's talking about this jackass who was, first of all, smoking in a bar, and her friend was like, "Oh my God, you're dating a smoker." By the way, I don't know why all these women sound the same, but it was one of those things. It was like, who? She's calling me an asshole because that's all it was. It was literally just go out, let's have a drink. It wasn't really a club,
But
more of a lounge.
No, okay. So now I'm going to ask you a follow-up question.
Imagine that.
So, but who truly is calling you an asshole? And here's what I mean by that. Think of an instance where you did something where today, if someone said, "Oh yeah, I saw Terrence the other day. Him and his wife are yada 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 yada," and she would be like, "Wait, he's married? That fucking dude? You are never gonna believe. One night, X, Y, Z. Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
who would call you that person?
I don't. You know what? My mama raised me right. I don't know that I've ever been disrespectful or because I think that's what warrants an asshole type response.
Fair. That's fair.
But I will say this. I was straightforward to a flaw. So I've never, that thing that you see in like TV shows, and even they joked on that shit, Friends, it was like, you know what, I'll call you, I'll talk to you again, I'll see you.
Yeah.
I never said that. If I wasn't really feeling you, I wasn't really feeling you, and that's fine. So that might make me an asshole, but it was never going to be like, dude, don't set yourself up for hurting someone's feelings or their expectations. Why not just keep it general? That doesn't mean there weren't times where, going back to being a kid where you have your first crushes. That doesn't mean I didn't have my own feelings hurt.
Sure.
But I don't think I was ever
But if
an
you
asshole.
Okay, but what if you think back, because I feel like right now you're talking about when you're an adult. What if you think back to maybe like middle school or high school?
McGarry Middle School, Everett, Indiana.
Right.
Represent.
Or high school when you're young. Because I think when you're young, you do really
Stupid shit.
foolish things. Oh, here we come. What's her name?
I'm not going to say her name.
Okay, but what happened?
I cheated.
Oh.
I cheated. Yeah.
And she found out?
Well, you know me. I eventually tell.
Wow.
I eventually told. I was just like, yo, this is what's going on. And yeah, that sucked. Yeah, that would make me an asshole. I don't know that she would call me an asshole, but I did cheat.
But maybe at this age, she might look back on it and go, we were kids.
Oh, yeah, maybe she would. Because, by the way, I think I feel worse about it now than I did fucking 30 years ago. It was just like, oh, my. When I look back, like right now, if my daughter came in and was like, oh, he cheated on me, I'd be like, yo, let's go kill that motherfucker.
Let me call the Marine.
Let me call the Marine. Let me call the talker, and let me put on some fucking Timberlands. Let's go get it going. But there probably was a time in there when that's how I was potentially being described. I don't know, but I think infidelity would definitely run through. I was never, but that was someone I was dating. As far as someone who I went out with, maybe calling me an asshole would not be appropriate, but apropos. But someone might have said, you know what, that motherfucker is cocky, or he's this, or he's that.
Yeah.
Because it's what I just said, even about having cheated. It was just like, I've always just been a straightforward person. So if that rubs you the wrong way, like the same thing you were saying about being an independent woman, well, don't ask me if this makes me look fat if you don't want me to hear. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. Sure does.
I'm not going to repeat the word, but those were your words. Like, yeah, exactly.
Sure does.
So, but yeah, I think about that idea that how we inhabit each other's worlds at different points in times during our life, and how
someone might have viewed you in that during that time.
I hope no one calls me an asshole unless it was like some personal shit, like we got into it, but not from a dating situation. But for the most part, I've always been I'm a monogamous.
Yeah.
I've been dating since I was like 5.
Yeah. It's interesting because I definitely feel like when I was younger, and I mean, I didn't really date either. I wasn't allowed to date, so we stuck around.
This is a podcast, not therapy.
When I was 7, that's where it really all began.
But you weren't allowed to date.
Yeah, and so if I think back on any boy who maybe expressed interest even if we dated, and I use air quotes for that because we didn't date, right? Because my parents never knew what was going on. But like when I was done, I was done. And quite frankly, this is also true of friendships. When I'm done, I'm done. And I give people a lot of rope. But once you're done with the rope, I am done. Right. And then I do become ghost. I do ghost, I have to say.
But surely since you used that word, have you done that to someone dating? Think back to when you were single again and dating and shit like that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you don't get
100% I did.
You don't
yeah.
get to. Well, you weren't holding a grudge, but it's like, come on, man. But you did it too. Did someone ever call or keep calling and you just go, hey, look,
no,
Bill? You were like, no. You never told them, like, look, man, I think you're very nice.
No, I don't think so. I'd have to. I don't know. I don't think so. Because you know what it is? So a lot of times I was just so fucking annoyed, like, leave me alone. And it's never been about somebody I dated. So we'll talk about when I was an adult. So it was never about somebody I dated. Because yes, that I was an adult about. But if it was someone who, I'll give you a perfect example, somebody who I maybe met, we had a great time that night, we exchanged numbers, maybe we talked a few times, and in the course of those conversations, I felt like, not for me. This is not for me. It's not gonna happen. Then I would just not pick up the phone.
Yeah, but that's the thing. So, I mean, actually have been on a date with someone because there's nothing. You know what?
Maybe I did that once.
I'm gonna fucking jump off. Like, dude, there's nothing worse than someone seeming needy. I don't care if it's a man or a woman, and I don't. And the truth of the matter, I don't know how you can control that. But for those people who are needy people, or they're really feeling you, there is nothing worse than when you're not feeling them. And they're getting really fucking needy. Yeah. Or they want your attention. So was there ever someone who wanted your attention, who was so into you, and then you had to let them know? Like, this just isn't going to happen?
Besides you mean?
Like I said, we got a paper trail.
Yes, 100%. But again, what's weird about that, the reason why I can say yes is because, yes, that did happen. But the odd thing about it is that we never really dated. He was one of those people who we met. Yes. We had a great time. We had a couple of phone conversations. And within those phone conversations, I was like, hell no. Exactly. This is just not working. This is not going to happen.
Like, are you sure you don't want to go to the Klan rally? He was like, you know what? I'm good, Jethro.
Yeah, I'm good.
But that's and that is, I think men and women both often say that. Or like, I want someone to be very straightforward with you. But as a person who I'll speak for myself, it's just like, who's always very straightforward. It's just like, nah, you don't really want to. It doesn't mean I would be cruel.
Of course not.
Yeah, not be cruel.
Of course not. Just direct.
But, if they're just like sending you a text or giving you a call and it's just like, hey, I had a great time the other night. It's like, for me, there was always a response. Yeah, it was cool.
That's an indicator.
Let you know.
It's cool, but I'm not going to call you again.
Exactly. But by the way, is your roommate still dating somebody? Because that's a good jump off. But just that idea, I guess that was the original thing, just that how is someone reflecting on you, especially the older we get, it doesn't bother me, but there's a genuine curiosity where you go, oh my God, is someone talking shit about me right now?
You know what could be interesting too, because it's not just about dating, quite frankly. It could be other types of relationships, like work relationships too. Because I feel like if I think about some of my work relationships and places where I've worked for a period of time, and I thought I developed friendships, and then I never heard from them again.
Oh,
and then it makes me wonder, well, hang on a second. Were we ever really friends?
I thought we were cool.
Right. And if we weren't, then what took place? Like, what did I miss? This has happened to me many, many years ago, but this absolutely happened to me where I felt like I was friends with someone. And then after I left the company, we just never really communicated again. And it was kind of like, well, hang on a second, because we weren't just colleagues and work friends. We weren't just work friends. I felt like we were actually really friends. And so I kind of feel like we could have this conversation about that level of a relationship as well.
Or even think of, as you bring up work stuff, like think about those people who might say, when they look at you more from a personal standpoint as a person who's working, and just go, oh my God, when I worked with Uana, she was a fucking ...
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's one thing. Work friends.
I think there's lots of those people in my life, quite
work
frankly.
friends are very, because we exist on different ends of the spectrum. Like I don't really have work friends. If I work with you and we were cool, you're usually family with me. So for me, it's like, it's not that I don't get along, but I have very little problem hanging out and then going out afterwards. But someone who might look at you and go, man, what was it like to work with her when she was back like this? I mean, again, most of my...
From a personality perspective.
Exactly. And
Not
that's
from
what I'm saying.
Not from a work perspective.
I can look back on my life and I'm going, most of my times where I think that people might have hated me the most, it was usually whenever I was fucking under 30 and really, really, not cocky because I thought I was cool, cocky because I thought they were stupid. Like that was it. So I'm like, there are people who might look back and even could be watching this or listening to this now and go, you know what? At least T sees a fucking, I'm speaking in third person now. T is so humble now. And he's like, he's like kind of a different person. You know what I mean? I think maybe that's what it is. Like, I think the older we get, the more we look back and go, my God, I was probably an asshole to that person.
Yeah. And then
someone.
There's almost this acknowledgement of, I understand why they thought that about me too.
Oh, I know.
Because I actually was in fact
like
that person.
If I met 25-year-old Terrence, I would fucking kick his ass. Although he was probably stronger than me. Although I didn't have a gun license then.
That's funny.
Seriously, if you have ever been someone's worst lay, and we know you have,
we want to hear about it.
I want to hear about it.
I want details, actually.
I want the sense of regret of what you have made, have behaved in specifically a dating situation.
That would be fun, actually, to hear that. I would love to hear people share that story.
We all got them, man.
We sure do. We're not our best with everybody.
Seriously,
we're only our best with the best.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Oh, wasn't it?
Thank you, people.
Thanks so much.
Cheers.
Cheers. Thanks for joining Drinks with My Wife. Please be sure to click the subscribe button and rate us on Apple Podcast and Spotify.